All right, Chris, we're going to pivot and join the man on the river. You know, Ted, our friend Chris here had his first archetype pizza last night.
Oh, that's great. How do you like it?
It was fantastic. Jersey Turnpike with the long hots.
That's it.
Place was packed too. Really great time.
Awesome.
All right, Ted. So you, I think, very clearly will win best backdrop of the day. Where are you right now on the river?
So we're at Lock 2 down here on Lake Clark. So if anyone's familiar with Shanks Mare Outfitters, literally right across the street.
That's awesome. What's the temperature out right now? How's it feeling? It's t-shirt weather?
A cool, warm 63. How about that?
I can hear are those ducks that I hear behind you? I hear some ducks out there.
There's some geese, occasional duck, but mostly geese.
Awesome. Well, you're like my little moment of zen right here, but I will say Wellspan Park looking great behind me. Ted, Lower Susquehanna River Keeper Association, you are the Lower Susquehanna River Keeper. You've been participating for 5 years in Give Local York. Take a second to tell folks that are sitting at home and hopefully also sharing some sunlight like you are, but tell us about the Lower Susquehanna Riverkeeper Association.
So, our organization, we're part of a network and really a global movement for fishable, drinkable, swimmable water. Our movement started back in the 1960s on the Hudson River. The Hudson River was the laughing stock of this country. It was so polluted. Fishermen, they couldn't catch fish, harvest shellfish. So they actually banded together and started collecting data and research, against all these coal-fired power plants and wastewater treatment plants and oil and gas and railroad industries and all these different industries. And they started suing polluters in court, and they started winning. They started collecting bounties, and those bounties then went to them getting a patrol boat and getting more resources for them to go after more polluters. So then that just spread like wildfire really now. Today we have over 320 water keepers on 6 continents, protecting some 2.68 million square miles of water. So right here in the Lower Susquehanna, we have a huge territory. We have from Sealands Grove down to the Chesapeake Bay. It also includes the Juniata watershed, so you have about 8,500 square miles where we monitor, patrol for pollution. So some might say, well, how do you do that? And so we're out there. We look at a lot of different logs that we see from either state or the EPA. We're out here in the river. We take a lot of water samples, so biological and chemical monitoring, public events, partnerships, and legal action, right? So we have laws that are on the books that basically says we can't pollute our water. You can't just go out and throw anything you want into our water. You need a permit. And basically anything that comes out of a pipe or conduit or conveyance, they also need a permit. So the laws that we have to be enforced. And our state and federal agencies are in charge of enforcing those laws. Now, a lot of times we see that our state and federal agencies can't really do their job all that well due to resources, funding, staff, whatever. So water keepers kind of step in, and we fill that role in that niche where if we see illicit pollution and illegal sources of pollution, or if we see expired permits, or if we see violations of permits and the state or federal government are following up, water keepers do. So we're here to protect the water quality of the Lower Susquehanna River along with the Chesapeake Bay, and we do that by holding polluters accountable to the laws that we have. We run a lot of different programs, so we have about 7 different programs that we run for volunteers that come in, citizen scientists. We have water quality monitoring programs, bacteria monitoring programs. We have a smallmouth bass monitoring program. We also have something really cool in the city of York, and I just want to touch on this for a minute. It's called the Greener Codorus Initiative. So folks that are in York City, if you see the banks of the Codorus from the train trestle that's north of Philadelphia Street all the way to College Ave, you can see that those banks are green. And the reason why those banks are green is because of our organization. We're down there once a week chopping and trimming that vegetation so the Army Corps of Engineers don't spray herbicides.
Ted, look behind you. Look behind you. Other side. Look at that.
Thanks. I don't want to miss that.
That's what it's all about, though, right? And I think there's people in this room that were like, Ted is really talking right now. And Honestly, I had so many notes that I wanted to ask you questions, and you just answered everything. But I think what's important about you and the work that you do is that you're part watchdog, part advocate, but you're also boots on the ground, waders in the water. Can you talk a little bit about that element of what you do? Because the cleanups that you organize, we're being joined by Megan at some point. And Chris, we do have a video for Ted as well that we need to get to. But Ted, talk a little bit real quick about boots on the ground work.
Yeah, I mean, everything from being in the office, I'm researching, different policies, legislation, looking at different regulations.
Ted, I'm not trying to cut you off, but $1.5 million for Give Local York.
Keep it rolling.
You just get me at this point. Sorry. Woo. Okay, continue.
And that's the greatest thing about this day is we've been involved, you said, for 5 years, right? For 5 years, the proof is in the giving. Every single year from the first year we've started this, we have increased year after year after year. We've brought in more donors, more donations. So we're getting more support for this work that we're doing, which is incredible. And that's what we need to see, because the work that we're doing is so super important, because this is it. The water that we have is all we got. If it becomes polluted, what happens then, right? So we have to make sure that we protect it. And the boots on the ground that we have a lot of volunteers that are helping us out. I'm out here doing the best I can. We're running multiple cleanups a year. We got multiple programs. The Green Ecuadorus Initiative, I'm telling you, come out, swing some tools, chop some weeds. You're going to get your workout in. You're going to feel good doing it.
Ted, can you talk about the party on the river? That's tonight?
Oh, yeah, that's going to be cool. So we got us and like 7 other organizations. We're down at John Wright Restaurant. We're in their banquet upstairs. There is already 300 people locked in that are coming out. People are going to be flowing in and out all night. We have a kayak raffle tonight. So we're raffling off a kayak. We got a lot of other raffles too. We got some cool artwork that we're going to be getting rid of. So yeah, if people can make it out tonight, it's going to be a good time. Cash bar, hors d'oeuvres served. Yeah.
Awesome. Ted, thanks so much for your time, man. Really appreciate it. You're killing it. Love everything that you're going to do today. Love everything that you do every day. We're going to show your video on your way out. If people want to learn more about the Lower Susquehanna Riverkeeper Association, where can they do that?
It looks like Ted's phone might have just
Ted
died.
just left. Ted
So-
left us. That's fine.
That's all right.
Let's
We'll
show
see
that
Ted.
video, and then we'll come back with Wilda and Megan.
Let's find the video. Here it is.
Water keepers are all around the world. We are advocates for our water
You'll be
bodies.
able to hear Megan.
We stand up for our waters. We monitor and patrol our waterways for pollution and make sure that polluters are held accountable to the laws that we have in place. When anyone donates to the Lower Susquehanna Riverkeeper, they're donating directly towards clean water. Any dollar that comes into our organization ultimately is going into another success that we're going to see in which water quality is restored or protected or improved.
How about I unmute the mics? Pretty wild timing there with Ted's phone dying as he signed off.
It was great. Chris,
I was really
1.5.
jealous of his location.
I know, it's insane. 1.5